Titles. Go. I'll start. The new Cylon.
Squatting is hard.
It is.
Christmas Brawl.
The actual game of living.
Words bumping.
Ben Wad.
My buddy Justin.
Is that a hat in your pocket?
That guy.
FrankenMiguel.
Serious issues.
I'd like that.
Yeah, you would. A squirrel on crack.
Boo-hoo, Bruce Wayne.
Kevin P.I.
TV time travel.
All right. We got him. Let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Corbs.
I'm Kev.
I didn't even try to do the head motions this week because I fuck it up every week. Guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I have some super awesome news. I am so excited. Like, sometimes I have to feign excitement for this segment on something that's just kind of okay, but super pumped. All right. Now, none of you are going to understand any of this, but maybe one of the two people who listen do. At the end of this next season and a couple of specials, the current showrunner of Doctor Who, Chris Chibnall, is leaving. The Doctor is also changing. Jodie Whittaker is leaving the role. And, you know, when this happens every so often since the show came back, we've had two other showrunners. We've had Russell T Davies is the one that resurrected the show and got it so popular. And then Stephen Moffat carried it for a number of years, continued riding that wave of popularity. Chris Chibnall came in when Jodie Whittaker started. They're leaving. The replacement has been announced, at least for the showrunner. And somehow, some way, even though he said he would never do it, the BBC is bringing back Russell T Davies, the guy that resurrected the show, to be the showrunner again and carry it through its 60th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Super exciting because there are a lot of people, some people had issues with Moffat's run. They kind of said, you know, it was a gothic sci-fi fairy tale, which I kind of dug. A lot of people don't like the current run. I can see their complaints. I don't think it's awful, but this is exciting. This is kind of like, I don't know, like getting the original band back together after having some replacement members for a number of years. And all the people who said they wouldn't come back to the show. I mean, this kind of opens doors because they all started with him. It's also the first time the show is not going to just be BBC produced. It's going to be a co-production with Bad Wolf Productions, which is the production company that spun out of that first few seasons Russell T Davies did. The executive producers, Gardner, I forget their names now. I'm so excited about it. But the people who worked on the show eventually started their own production company called Bad Wolf Productions, which is a direct reference to something that happened in the show. And they're going to come on and co-produce it with the BBC. So this is really exciting. Like, this may be a complete, I mean, when they talk about we're going to make big changes and you're looking at, well, I hope this new guy can do well. They say big changes and I see the guy that's already done it. I'm pumped.
Nice.
So I can't, you know, I wouldn't have even guessed if you had me guess who's going to take over the role of showrunner. Wouldn't have guessed him because he said he wouldn't do it again. He's the one guy that I would not have any trepidation about.
Awesome.
So
good.
I am geeked about that.
And like you said, it's kind of the perfect time for the anniversary and everything to bring him back in. That's awesome. Good.
Very cool.
Corbs, what's got you geeked?
I used to love Doctor Who. Sorry, I used to love Doctor Who. I don't know why. I just have never got back into it. I don't know why.
Did you ever watch the new series or just the old series?
I've a couple here and there, you know, and I know about them. I know they're out there, and I know I can go get them. And I just for whatever reason, I just haven't done it. I forget about it, which is not good because I've heard great things about it.
Oh,
I watched that one Christmas episode that one time, and then I got scolded by Hugh for jumping into the middle of something like that.
Yeah.
I love Christmas episodes, especially Star Wars.
Star Wars. Nice.
I mean,
Sorry,
I think you actually get a legitimate prize if you've actually sat through the entire thing.
I don't think I
Star
ever
Wars?
told you this.
Christmas Star Wars episodes?
No,
The holiday special, 1978.
Did I ever tell you that I had the LP,
That's awesome. No.
the Star Wars LP?
So you've got B. Arthur singing and dancing?
I don't know. I guess maybe, but my grandmother got it for me.
an LP of the Christmas special?
No, it's
Oh.
it's I don't think it was a Christmas special. It was something else, but it's the only one I've ever heard of. And
I
my
might
wife gave it away when my mother's house got sold.
I might have you beat there. When I was a kid, I had an 8-track of the entire movie, the soundtrack and the dialogue. It was like just the sound portion of it, so you could like reimagine it in your head.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Was it official release or did somebody make
Yeah,
it?
it was an official
Wow.
release.
Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
No, I didn't either.
Nice.
I mean, that's the only. I mean, I've seen that for some other niche items in the past, but yeah, that's the only big thing I've ever seen. But I'll have to look it up while we're all talking.
Nice.
I'm telling you, and I know I'm cutting into Corbs. I'm sorry, but I just got to say one last thing. Star Wars is something that I could actually listen to, and I would be able to visualize the entire movie.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree with that.
I could do that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
All right.
okay.
I was just visualizing the movie. Sorry.
Right. You're like the sounds and everything.
Yep.
It's like, oh my god, it's like right there. Oh yeah. No, I want to do that.
So for me, what's got me geeked is postseason baseball is right around the corner.
Yes, it is. We're down to what, like 6 games left? 5?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think matter of fact, I think this weekend is this weekend or the middle of next week or whatever it is the end of the regular season. White Sox made the playoffs. They won the Central beginning part of the week, so they're in the playoffs. So that means playoff baseball I get to watch this year.
Awesome.
I watched it last year. They made it playoffs last year, but they were like a wild card team. This year, they're actually going to be hosting the games, most of their games, because they won the Central, so they get to host the first series. Last year, they went to Oakland. So, and then hockey started.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so Canucks were on this week. Got a chance to see them a little bit. I mean, it's preseason, but still you get to see some of the guys out there. So for me, return to some sports, which is nice. Now we don't talk sports that much on here and whatnot lately, but for me, it's kind of nice to see some of this stuff coming back. I mean, hockey is good because these guys don't really have much of a voice to say stuff like the other sports do. Guys are kneeling before the. Don't get me started on that crap, but it's just nice to finally have hockey back. I mean, my family's a big hockey family.
Mm-hmm.
Girlfriend's big into hockey, so it's nice. So I get a chance to watch some games. Probably go to some Crunch games this year.
Nice.
She's got the company she works for gets season tickets, so
Awesome.
We have a tendency to go more than not. So
yeah,
that's nice. I think they're switching their seats there was no fans last year, so they're moving their seats. I think they're moving down a little bit behind the crunch bench, which would be nice. So the seats that they had were just to the left of the visitors bench last time we were there. So I think they're going to be either just behind or just right of the crunch bench. So they're other side of the players bench, which would be nice. So
very cool.
Yep. So that'd be fun. So
awesome.
Hockey's a good time, especially the games. We'll go into the games.
Yeah.
Never been. I'd still like to go.
But that'll change.
Yeah. No, anything like that local, you go to the like a single A baseball game or a local hockey game. I mean, they're so much better than watching it on TV.
Yeah, going to the games is 10 times better.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the Crunch's very first opening night when they came back in '94.
Nice.
We got tickets to that. Used to hang out with the players. My buddy Justin, his father, used to know a bunch of the players. So, as we got older and were able to drink a little bit, we got to hang out with some of the players a little bit more and whatnot. We'd go out downtown with the guys after the games and whatnot, and go to bars and drink with them. So that was pretty cool. Took my dad one day for his birthday. Actually, they had a game on his birthday. My dad's born December 23rd. So they actually had a game. It was a Friday night. So my brother and myself. Was it
a horrible day to have your birthday on?
I know a friend that was born on Christmas. So
yeah, and my cousin was born on the 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took my dad for his birthday one year, and I can't remember what year it was, but they literally had a brawl, everybody fighting, which was the greatest thing ever. I mean, when I mean everybody, I mean goalies included.
Awesome.
All fighting. Yeah. So it was everybody, all 5 guys on the ice were going at it. So it was pretty cool. That was probably the coolest thing I ever saw. So
I mean, really, can you beat a Christmas brawl? I mean, that's
no, you really can't. The only thing that I think would have been better was
if Santa stabbed somebody.
Well, he took off his skate, tried to stab somebody. So in a preseason game, no, Paul, you haven't been there. Kev, have you been to a game at the
Not in a while. Not in a while. But I've been there to a game, yeah.
So in the rafters, there's a number retired. There's only one number retired. It's number 14, John Baduke.
Okay.
He was a mainstay here in Syracuse for a long time. He was a enforcer, big brawler, always never really scored any goals or assists, but he would drop the gloves with anybody. Didn't matter who it was. He fought all the time. So in a preseason game, he got in the penalty box, proceeded to climb over the glass onto the score table because the 2 penalty boxes are sectioned off by the scorer's table.
Mm-hmm.
He jumped over the glass onto the scorer's table and into the visiting team's penalty box and proceeded to kick the shit out of the guy in the box.
It went after him again, basically.
Yeah, and they had fought, and then when he got into the penalty box, they were still going back and forth. Proceeded to climb over the glass into the visitor's penalty box, and the guy kept fighting.
Nice.
So that. I would have loved to have seen that. I wasn't there for that one, but the brawl was pretty fun. I mean, I've seen some pretty good guys that have come through the system too. Guys that have made it to the professional level and played pretty long there and stuff like that. So, it's nice. My like I said, my buddy Justin his family had season tickets, so and they didn't use them all that much. So when we were in our 20s, we were there pretty much every time they were in town. We would go to a game. So, but it's always been pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Last game I was at, it was years ago. I used to go with a buddy of mine that we were both in college together at ESF. And last game I went to, my wife had gotten me the Senators hat because I was a big Sens fan. And she had ordered it. I did not know this. She had ordered it from their stadium, the Corral, up in Ottawa. Okay. And direct, merch, club merch, and a really nice hat. So I forget who was playing that night, but it was a hat trick. So you have to go down to the boards and you throw your hat on the ice. So we all did that, and go back to our seats. And I'm like, Burkham, my buddy Ryan Burkham was with me. I'm like, Burkham, we can get our hats back afterward, right? He goes, dude, no. He goes, I've never done that.
Oh shit!
You gotta be kidding me. So we go down, walk around, and go to the refs. They had all the hats. And we go in there, and they had them all in a box. And we looked through the box, and my hat was gone. Of
course.
Yeah.
How did that discussion go with Kathy?
Not well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Didn't go real well.
Never got a replacement.
Is that still a tradition, Corbs?
Yep.
Okay, so if and when I go to one of these games,
don't wear a hat.
Don't wear my favorite hat. Like
wear your favorite hat.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to wear a hat that you want to get rid of, because if somebody scores, now it's not something that happens all the time.
But that will be my luck. Like I'll go in there rocking my Mandalorian ball cap because I'll forget, and it'll happen. And then, by law, I think I have to do that.
No,
then, so.
you don't have to. You don't have to. No, you don't have to go down and throw your hat in. But a lot of people do.
What do they do with the hats? Do they resell them? Is this a scam?
No, they throw them away. They throw them away. Some people go and pick them up, though.
Yeah, you can go and pick them up, but like Kev is saying, you're going to go. There's going to be a huge box of them. If your hat is, a new hat, or somebody likes that team, or
right, if it's a cool hat, that one's gone.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, if you go there and you pick out your hat, but you see 3 hats that you like, you're going to fucking take them.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know if somebody's going to come looking for them. So,
yep.
So when I go to a hockey game, wear that cheesy ass hat that my mother-in-law bought me, and
bring a hat. Just put it in your pocket. Put a hat in your pocket. That's what I learned.
Is that a hat in your pocket?
Are you just happy to see me?
Oh, I did find that. It's called The Story of Star Wars. It was a 1977 record album that they also put on other media, and it's an abridged version of the events depicted in the film using dialogue and sound effects and music from the original film.
I want that so bad.
It was awesome.
I want that on my phone so I can just listen to it while I'm riding my motorcycle.
Nice.
Well, you could just play the movie, but
this is true.
Take the movie, strip out the video,
yeah,
make
you're
yourself
right.
an MP3, and then you'll have the full thing, not just an abridged version.
But I can say it's that. I want that. I want a copy of it.
He'll be on eBay in a little bit looking.
It's there.
I'll find one.
I'm sure it is.
I'll find one.
Now, I'm sure that it is, because I found it when I was trying to pull this up to find out what it was called, to make sure I wasn't like misremembering or making something up.
Or another Mandela effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go next, since we've already been talking about sporting events in the War Memorial. What's got me geeked is an update on something we were discussing, I think last time, maybe the time before. The WWE Super Show coming to Syracuse. Went ahead, pulled the trigger, got tickets for that, got floor seats. Me and the old man will be going. Can't wait, looking forward to it. I'm kind of getting pretty jazzed for wrestling again. It's a thing. I've even got a CM Punk Best in the World t-shirt coming back from the AEW event happening in Rochester tonight for me. So pretty excited.
This is how much I know about wrestling. The question is going to be very obvious. Are there is the men and the women, are they in the same like league or whatever group or whatever? So the female wrestlers will be there also?
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely going to be female wrestlers there. I saw so far, but card is subject to change. So it's 2 months from now. I know Rhea Ripley is going to be there for the WWE show, and I'm assuming all of the mainstays for AEW are going to be there tonight, since it's a TV, it's a live television show.
They actually. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. There's 2 of them that I'm thinking of that I was wondering if they're going to be there, and if they are, I'm going to be sorry that I didn't take you up on the tickets.
Are you thinking the man and the wrestler that's the Mandalorian chick, Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks. Is she going to be
She's
there?
on SmackDown.
Yeah, but it's a super show, so both of them are there. And after Friday night, who knows what's going to happen? So.
Well, it really depends on if they can actually do anything with Sasha Banks for more than 2 episodes of TV without her disappearing. leading up to this thing. They've not really, since they brought her back, they've not really been able to push her into anything.
I was wondering because I hadn't seen her since
Oh.
I've started watching again.
What
Yeah,
is
she's
she?
actually got left and like dropped out for a few weeks and came back several times in this time frame. I mean, she was supposed to
She was supposed to wrestle Bianca Blair at
Yeah,
WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
And she, I think at the last minute, she had last minute they pulled her and put Becky Lynch in, and Becky Lynch beat Bianca Blair in like
26 seconds. Yeah.
Who's the other one, Kev?
Cargill. Last name is Cargill.
Jade Cargill is in the AEW now.
Okay.
So she's probably in Rochester right now.
So
Oh
she
yeah,
wouldn't be there.
she's the black lady, white hair, like fucking ripped. Yeah, she's on AEW. She's a monster. I hadn't seen her before. I don't know if she was in the WWE before, but on AEW she is very, very dominant.
I'm just going to say this, and I'm not going to say anything else. You should check out her Insta.
Okay.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, Paul, because I was going to talk about something I found out today that ties directly into wrestling. So I was reading the latest National Geographic, which is their main article is about gladiators. And I did not know this, but did you know that most of the gladiators didn't die? In fact, if 10 guys went in, usually at least 9 came out alive. They were actually trained to not injure each other or kill each other and put on a good show most of the time. Because they were expensive, because sponsors pumped money into training them, and they were like celebrities and all that stuff. And when one died, that's a financial loss. So they would, I mean, it's not saying that it was all fake. They would have people die occasionally, but it was more of a show than anything else. And I'm like, oh my God, the gladiators were the first sports entertainers. That lends so much legitimacy to pro wrestling for me.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
I was expecting that from somebody. No, I wasn't aware of that. Like, because you always it's always implied that they were out there just killing each other. So there we go. History lesson for the night, folks.
In fact, some of the bigger arenas had underneath, it was like a theater stage with trap doors where things could come up, and you didn't know if it was going to be an animal or a gladiator. They had people playing music during the fights to kind of like, make it more exciting.
Nice.
I had no idea it was such a production. Vince McMahon would have fit right in.
There's a whole underground
Might have been
catacomb
alive at
underneath
that
the Coliseum.
What was that, Corp?
There's a whole. Oh, sorry.
I heard what
Vince
you said,
might have been alive at that point.
Could have been.
Maybe.
At least his dad was there. We know that.
That's true.
So, Kev, what's got you geeked?
I don't know. Winter's coming. There's a snowmobile show this weekend.
Nice.
Pretty happy about that. Meeting a whole bunch of people there. Kathy and I are. I'm going to go right from work. I'm working Friday, so I'll go right from work. But Kathy's coming down with some friends of ours, and then some other friends are meeting us there. So it's going to be it's typically one of those things we go to the show and, see all the new stuff. We already know what all the new stuff is. There's deals and stuff, so we'll take advantage of some of that. Get some new carbides for the sled or something like that. Maybe some oil. If there's a deal on oil, I'm looking for a pair of gloves and looking for a helmet. So there's some things there. But it was also, other shows coming up. So I'm not too worried about finding the best deals. But we go to the show, walk around the show, see all the stuff. And then we all go out and, have some drinks and get some food afterwards. So it's a whole night of a good time. So pretty happy the snow is almost here.
Nice.
Just hoping we get some good snow this year so we can do some good riding. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Where's the show? Is it local or is it out of town?
It used to be at the On Center downtown, which would have been really nice because I could have left my vehicle parked there
Right.
and just walked over. But they have it at the fairgrounds now at the expo.
Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, it gives them an excuse to use it. So,
yeah, I mean, and I understand why they would rather have it there. If you're going to have the manufacturers show up with their machines, they got to get tractor trailers in and out. And
yeah, more space to get moved. Yep, parking.
Yeah. Yep. There's that, and then you've got free parking for visitors. People that are, customers that are going to come in. So that's going to potentially bring more people in. Not that I ever saw a snowmobile show that wasn't packed.
Oh yeah.
Snowmobilers. we use money as a way to keep warm. We literally light it on fire.
That sounds counterproductive. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's not.
he's not kidding. As you know, I'm from Altmar, Williamstown area. The Trailblazers actually ran one of the trails through our backyard, so it would wake us up all hours of the night. And when they had their annual chicken barbecue, we got free meals because they groomed trails on our land.
Yeah.
So it's snowmobile country. I actually got hired at the local Nice and Easy to stand out there and collect money from snowmobilers as they pulled up to the thing. So yeah, it's crazy.
Snowmobilers and Maine, and there's some other states in the U.S. that understand this. Maine and New Hampshire are two of them. Vermont and New York State are two that don't understand that snowmobilers they have no qualms about spending thousands of dollars on a weekend to rent a room, buy gas, buy food, buy drinks, whatever it may be. Not to mention they pull their rigs, their trucks, and their trailers with their snowmobiles, and they buy brand new sleds every year. Snowmobilers are ridiculous with the amount of money they spend, and I don't understand why some states don't get that and do more for the sport. The state of Maine, they love snowmobilers. You go up there riding, and I'm from out of state, they love you.
Awesome.
You can go anywhere and just have a great time, but not New York State. Nope. You do one thing wrong, they just want to give you a ticket. And I'm not saying that the people that are doing the things to get tickets should get ignored. I'm just saying that their motivation is different. That's all. But yay snow. Let's bring on the winter.
All right. So guys, what are you playing?
Well, I now have a week with Supernatural VR on the Oculus Quest 2, a week under my belt. And I got to tell you, I did a workout so hard tonight that I actually had to grab my inhaler afterwards, which is not something you would expect from me. You guys have seen me in real life. I know from here up, it might not look it, but I am fucking fat. It's ridiculous. And, this is, I was hoping that this would be a good solution for us. And Damar and I both we're getting our asses kicked by this, but it's good. Now, one of the big elements of this, it's a lot of swinging and stuff like that, but there's also squats. There's like triangles that appear on the screen, and the short ones, you got to squat. Some of them you have to squat and lunge. There's a lot of movement there as well, and turning fully around. And also, you're not just supposed to be hitting it. You don't flick your wrists like Beat Saber. You keep your arms stiff and you're swinging for power. So it's a great exercise. I made a video, which I gave to Paul. I don't know if we're going to post it or not. I'm going to actually try to come up with something cooler, but I'm really kind of putting myself out there, because if you want to put it in the show notes and post it, that's fine. I look kind of stupid with my fat ass, running around, and you can't really hear the music, but it can kind of get you an idea, because 2 weeks ago, I bought some sifting cat litter boxes because I struggled with squatting down long enough to scoop the cat boxes. By the time I was done with our 2 cat boxes, my heart was racing. I was sweating. I had to sit down. Squatting is hard anyway. That's why nobody likes squats. Now, I probably didn't need to do that, because in the course of these exercises, I'm going up and down, up and down. I can now get to the bottom level of the refrigerator without, struggling to get back up. I'm hurt. My legs hurt because I'm busting my ass, but I've already noticed a difference in what I can do in my regular life. So I'm super excited by this, and I kind of want to put a video out there just so people can see what it's about and decide if, hey, maybe it's for them. And I'm doing low intensity stuff. This is the beginner shit, and it's kicking my ass. But it's awesome. I'm loving it. And that's what I'm playing.
Awesome.
So, have you given up on your goal to be on my 300-pound life?
Well,
600
pounds.
Whatever.
That's the funny thing. I'm not big enough to be on a show where you have to get weight loss surgery, but I am big enough to be on a show about losing weight. Probably the Biggest Loser would be great for me, but I applied for them, and they took one look at me and said, it's really not fair to the other people, because you clearly are the Biggest Loser. So I had to find something else.
That was awesome. I gotta give you that one.
I don't even know what to say.
Right.
I got nothing.
That's
I got
the only
nothing.
problem is when it's usually that good that it grinds everything to a halt.
I got nothing. Yeah, that's good.
So Corbs, what are you playing?
Well,
still playing
first-
my golf. Cylon.
Corbs, don't look now, but I'm pretty sure there's a Cylon over your shoulder.
That's a new
There.
Cylon. That's the new ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battlestar Galactica.
Okay. You guys should just be impressed that I knew that because I've never seen that. Okay. But I'm sorry. The golf, 18th hole, still don't have enough money.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show.
No. Yeah, they've updated it now, and you don't fucking make any money on it anymore. So I don't know how the
What?
hell I'm gonna finish it. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they did to it. It's all fucking messed up.
It's
Like
broken.
you used to, like every 6 hours or whatever, you would make like $1 billion. Now every day, I think I make like 100 million. So I'm like, I got one spot left to finish on the 16th hole. I got to get to 5 billion. I'm at like 500 million. I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting to 5 billion in the next month and a half. So
I
Well,
bet
it's not
there's an item in their store that you can buy that will get you
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
yeah, no, I understand that, and I'm just again, I don't spend money on that shit. So it looks like I'm gonna be deleting the app off the game off my phone. I'm gonna find something else to occupy my time.
Rage quit.
I got one for you.
Settlers Online.
Nope. Stay
Oregon-
away. Stay
Oregon
away.
Trail.
Oh, yeah.
What?
What just happened?
That's what I'm wondering.
That's a bad grind.
Did I just kill Corb's bet? I'm sorry.
No, I just said Oregon Trail.
Oh, okay. See, I missed that part because I think you guys were talking at the same time.
Your
So-
words were bumping.
Wait, bumping uglies? What?
I'm sorry.
Um,
I did offer to lick somebody's finger earlier today.
lick somebody's finger?
Oh yeah.
You can't do that in the COVID era.
Listen to me. A friend of mine put his brisket on this morning, and he showed me a picture of it when he took it off this afternoon, and he was pushing on it with all the juices coming out. And I'm saying, I'd fucking lick that.
Hey,
I'm not proud. That fucking brisket looked good.
not too proud to beg.
And I had some crock pot chicken cheesy thing from 2 days ago.
No knock it.
Nice.
Maybe it's good. Maybe you just.
I
need-
finished last night's dinner today. We tried to have pot roast last night, but I couldn't get the fucking roast to finish cooking no matter how 3 hours in the pressure cooker and one end of it just wouldn't, get to that point where it shredded apart. So I put it in Tupperware and we went to Taco Bell and got dinner and I finished cooking it today.
There you go.
Is that calling it a mulligan for dinner?
Yeah.
Nice.
I went to Dave and Buster's.
Ooh, I haven't been there since the time we went.
Where is that now? Is that
It's in
still
the mall.
In the mall.
Okay.
And tonight is half price game night.
Is it weirder? Like I'm assuming they have to clean the machines and everything like constantly.
There's somebody walking around, but they don't clean them. So, yeah, I mean, the people walking around cleaning machines, but they're not like, you have somebody following behind you going, clean the machine after he's done. Clean the machine after he's done. No.
See, that's what I did like about yestercade is they were on top of that shit. Like you walk away from a game and all of a sudden someone comes out of nowhere and they're cleaning that shit up.
Do they
So-
follow you
That's
to the
'cause you-
bathroom? That's what I want to know.
That's
Do
right. They
follow
just follow you around. They got a little squirt bottle and they follow you around. And the moment you walk away, they squirt it.
I mean, maybe it was just me they were following around. I have that vibe about me. So
Yep.
I'll
Kev,
go,
are
I
you
guess.
playing anything? Oh, okay.
Bobbing and weaving over
Whatever.
there.
You can go next, Paul.
Bobbing and weaving.
Mine's little.
You're like,
That's all I got. Yeah, I'll go because I just made it awkward. I found a new.
Mhm.
I usually do. I found a new mobile game, a WWE one that was one of those. A weird ad came up, and I was like, I want to try this out. It's called WWE Mayhem. Have you seen this one?
I have.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a basically like a side scroller, like cartoony wrestling sim, just a whole lot of mindless button mashing. You go through, you have to level up your wrestlers that you get. You continue through. Apparently there are title matches that you can achieve title belts, but I didn't because I lost my title match. So
Isn't it all against online opponents though?
no, there's
Okay.
there's like a story mode, which is what I've been doing. I haven't done that. I did unlock the story mode. I mean the versus mode, but I haven't done it yet.
It must be their new one because they have a newer one that's like that, and it's all against other people, and that's why I won't go near it because I hate people.
Right. I guess I don't want to deal with that nonsense.
Agreed.
So, but I mean, some of the versus stuff. No, I'm sorry. There's an events section too, so you can unlock like higher star wrestlers and stuff. Like right now, there's a Liv Morgan one. I'm pausing because I'm still not well acquainted with all of the superstars yet. Apparently, she's a former competitive cheerleader, and now she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
She's no Tay Conti, but
I don't know. I like Liv Morgan. She
I'm rating them on looks still. I'm that guy.
Isn't she on NXT now?
No, she was just she was at the pay-per-view, I believe. She was at Extreme Rules, or maybe it was last night, but she wrestled either Sunday or Monday. So yeah, she's definitely on the main roster still. I don't remember for the life of me who she wrestled though.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm watching pay-per-views yet. Like I'm not ready to invest that kind of money.
Dude, it's $10 a month. You get Peacock and all the pay-per-views are free. I mean,
Really?
maybe it's $8.99. Maybe it's yeah. The WWE network got folded into Peacock. So now you get the Peacock streaming service and not just the pay-per-views, but their back catalog. And I mean, all the specials are doing. They just did a Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull Ranch, which is basically a video version of
Yep.
a podcast with Seth Rollins, just dropped this week. And all of their shows, because there's a WWE entertainment division that's creating stuff just for the network.
Nice.
Whether it be like reality shows like Holy Foley, which was following McFoley's family, or just behind the scenes stuff, documentaries. There's a lot of good content there. It's definitely
Nice. So that one does sound like something I might jump in on then,
Yeah.
especially for the paper. See, I had a different idea. I figured that we would just talk my dad into getting the pay-per-views at his place, and we'd show up at his apartment and watch the pay-per-views with him. So
That cost him a lot of money though, more money than it really needs to.
I mean, I was thinking we would throw in for the pay-per-views, but
We could bring food and beer.
he doesn't drink either.
We could bring food and then we could drink beer.
Yes.
Just saying.
Because I am getting to the point where I'm going to start want to watch them. But so for $10 a month, I mean, for 5 months of what you're paying for the subscription, you're paying for the one pay-per-view. Yeah. So that's not a bad idea. I mean, I know this is supposed to be our video game section, but we're on wrestling right now. So Kristen's really not happy
No.
with all of the wrestling intake that's happening. Friday night, I watched 4 hours straight of pro wrestling. She was not happy. I watched SmackDown for 2 hours and immediately I didn't even have to turn over because I had a timer set for Rampage. And it rolled right in there. Rampage is AEW's other show.
It's usually
have-
only 1 hour though.
Yeah, I guess it was a special one.
Yeah.
And holy shit, CM Punk's match that they opened the show with. Like, that's what shocks me now is like, it used to be the curtain jerkers were like shitty matches. Like, you didn't have to be there to see the first match. And even WWE's doing the same thing now.
Well, I think they're doing it because of AEW.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think so because AEW has been doing that. They've been opening their shows with big matches,
Nasty matches.
and they still have big matches at the end.
Yes.
But yeah, they definitely they're opening with big stuff, and I think WWE realized that they need to kind of get on board with that. This week's Raw opened with Bobby Lashley against Big E for the championship.
Yes, which I missed, and that's why I'm glad because I think I missed the first hour of Raw.
Yeah,
I came in around 10 o'clock because it was still smart and that 4 hours of wrestling
What
on
a
Friday.
great way to hook your audience.
Yes, it's smart. It's very smart.
You know you're not going to put they're not going to put a curtain jerker at the end. They're
Right.
going to have something big there too.
Yes. Yeah. Which they did. Raw this week was the steel cage match, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all starting to meld together on me. I'm trying to keep track of what I'm watching. I got my scorecard, trying to figure out who's who still. That's where I'm at right now. I need to be a student of the game by November when I go there. So I'm not spending the whole time going, who's that? What's their story? Who's that guy? Why is he mad at him? So
And your dad's going to be going, I don't know. I can't see anything. People are too tall.
right. That's right. Because I did tell you guys, or at least you, Hugh, I can't remember if that was to the whole group or it was just you, that I got floor seats, but we're the second section of floor seats. So there'll be all the ringside seats and then a gap and then us. Because again, I still want to do the whole, maintain a little bit of distance thing. And Hugh says, so basically your dad's not going to get to see anything because my dad is what, like 5'4"?
Yeah.
You guys have all met him, right? Yeah. Last time we did floor seats, I did make the poor bastard stand on his chair. But I think he's excited that I'm back into it. As long as the shows maintain a decent quality, I'll stick with it for a while. So, all right, but everybody's gone for no. Kev, you have what are you playing? I'm sorry.
How the hell do I follow that?
Well, hopefully more contained than what I just did because I was kind of like a squirrel on crack there.
Exactly. I'm not even a little bit enthused about this game. It's just something I found and I played it a couple times. I mean, it's like, okay.
You don't have to share. It's not required.
Okay.
Dude, it's in the notes. Come on. Don't ruin this for me.
Kingdom Rush. It's a
Hey, what are you
tower
playing?
defense game. It's that's it. Kingdom Rush.
Okay.
Actually, what I did find out about this, Ironhide Game Studio, they make the same games. They have it's a series of tower defense games, all in the same genre and all the same mechanics. So that once you play one, you know how to play the others. But they actually they make their PC game available on Steam. It's not free on Steam. It's you pay for the game, and then you don't end up having to pay for some of the upgrades that are inside of it, but you get more maps, whatever, more fun
Content.
time.
Yeah.
The mobile game, there's, I don't know, 10, 12 different
Is that the one where your guy and you have to fight against somebody else in a tower? You got to beat the number that they've got.
So what a typical tower defense game is you have these enemy that run from one end of the map to the other, and they run through a maze of some sort, some sort of a channel.
Okay.
And what you do is you have different spots you can build defenses on. And those defenses are typically a slow defense, an air defense, a ground defense, and a mass area defense. So you have the different kind of defense types. And you build your defenses based on what you think is going to get thrown at you.
Okay.
And you get so many lives, and you lose a life every time one of the enemy, and it could be, they could number in the thousands, but one of their enemy passes through the end of the map, you lose a life. So they're originally called tower defense because the things you build are typically towers of some sort. It's an archer's tower, it's a
Right.
cannon tower, it's a musket tower, that sort of a mage's tower, that sort of thing. The one you're thinking of is I know what that is. It's a different kind of tower defense game, if it's what I'm thinking it is, where you get a tower.
Yep.
And you have different defenses in it, and you can build them up. You can change them out, and then they throw different things at you, and you have to fend them off. So it's a little bit different kind of a tower defense, but same idea.
Right.
Same basic idea. You have a lot of enemy coming at you. You got to figure out how to balance your, because you upgrade everything. You upgrade the tower as you go,
Right.
and hopefully you do it correctly. Otherwise, you lose. I've got the last two maps I'm on, and I can't. You succeed when you get 3 stars out of 3 for each map, and I've got 2 out of 3 after one, and I haven't been able to finish the other. So therein lies the challenge. You have to figure out how to master the map. But the cool part, like I said, is it's on Steam and you have a PC side. So for $10, you could get into it on the PC side and have what looks like a pretty decent tower defense game. It's rated pretty well. But that's all I got.
Nice. Well, that's all right, because you're not really done, because it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
Okay, so this week, I'm going to review something that a friend of mine and I have invested in on Kickstarter. This is called Futility, the actual game of living. And you might say, well, the game of life, is it like that? Well, it's a board game, and it has cards, and it has dice, and it has some other stuff like that. Gameplay is typical board game gameplay. But let me read you the little synopsis here. In the world of board games, there's games that last the test of time, and then there's games like Futility, which never die. If the raunchy card games of today made a beautiful baby with the vintage board games of yesteryear, then you would have Futility, the actual game of living. So they're not really giving you a lot. I mean, I've been on the website on the Kickstarter page. They don't really give you a whole hell of a lot to go on, and it's supposed to be hilarious. It's supposed to be for up to 8 players, which is a lot for a board game. There aren't many board games I've seen that have that kind of a player cap. There are, let's see, where did I see? I'm looking at the Kickstarter page. 400 situation cards, 50 Futility Destiny cards, 200 checks, and they actually look like a real check, so it must be you have to pay your way out of things. Up to 8 players, 1 board, and 2 dice.
Nice.
I would suggest you go on Kickstarter and look this up and see if it's something that interests you. They're really close. They've hit a couple of stretch goals, I think. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't see their results for their goals. It's got to be on here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. I don't want to look at pictures. I don't care about that. But it really appealed. So $24,173 pledged of $30,000 goal. So they're within their goal. 287 backers, 29 days to go. That's not bad. So there's a chance they're going to hit their primary goal. Based out of LA, so that's pretty cool. And Tabletop Games is the board manufacturer, the game manufacturer, the game group. So very, very interesting. My buddy got a hold of me. He's like, we got to get this. We got to get this. I was like, okay. So I went in on it with him. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have to get it. Hopefully they'll meet their goal. We'll get it. I'll get the chance to play it and get a chance to review it.
Awesome.
Honestly, for you guys. But yep. Futility, the actual game of living. There you go.
Might be something worthwhile getting on film and posting it to the page, right? YouTube channel.
We could do that. I'm not so sure you'd want to see that, but we could do that.
Sounds like a plan to me. So say we all, right, Corbs?
Yes.
All right. On that note, I think we're going to kick it to break, and we'll be back with Hugh's News. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before you pay a bunch of money to confirm that you lost by more than you thought you did, here's the news. Speaking of the pot calling the kettle black, last week in Arizona, the recount was completed and there were preliminary results leaked on Thursday. Those results basically confirmed that Biden won the presidency, and they actually found more votes for him and less votes for Trump. Now, this came out Thursday morning, and I'm always curious because you hear the argument from the right that the left only shows the news that fits their narrative. So I like to go and check when something comes out like this and see where it's actually reported. And I do the same thing with liberal sites as well. I think I've talked about that before. I went to both Fox and OAN and confirmed 0 mentions of the original recount or the preliminary report at all. I did a search for the entire website. It was almost as if they scrubbed all references from the entire sites. Going by those 2 sites, there was no Arizona recount at that point. Now, interestingly enough, Newsmax did have a mention of it, but it was literally only Trump coming out and saying the preliminary results were fake. So technically it wasn't really reported on, but at least it was there. I swear the right and left news media are like the 2 Spider-Mans meme where they're pointing at each other. Next up, interrupted. It seems that the WWE is really worried about Ric Flair's legal situation. They made some changes this week to the stinger before their shows. When a WWE show starts, they have this little montage of scenes from the past and some music in there as well. And there are famous lines like, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" And up until this week, woo. Well, they removed the woo from it, and it was jarring. You know, the first thing I watched without it, and I was like, holy cow, they must really think removing one soundbite makes everyone forget who rented that plane where he pulled out Space Mountain. Now, it's hard to imagine the Nature Boy being erased from history like this, but it's been done before. And I'm thinking you could say he's been Benoit. And finally, I am the law again. NBC announced that Law & Order is returning for a 21st season after 10 years off the air. It was sentenced to be canceled in 2010, but the brand was kept alive with something like 147 spinoffs. It looks like it's going to be coming back and maybe continue in perpetuity. When producer and creator Dick Wolf was asked why now, he responded with, "Law & Order is really the only idea I have." And that's the news, kids. Now I am off to pre-order Amazon's upcoming robot dog Astro, the perfect device for those still wanting the creepy experience of having your dog watch you have sex without having dog hair on the bedspread. I'm sure I can sub as a cameraman too. Astro, money shot angle. And normally I would hand things off now, but there is one last thing. Our little group has always been about the 3 F's, as we discussed a few weeks ago. And I want to talk about one of them, food. Specifically, I'm going to kick back while Corbs does his movie review and eat this delicious spicy chicken taco sandwich exclusively from Taco Bell. This thing is far tastier than it has any right to be. If you had told me Taco Bell would deliver my favorite out of the fast food chicken sandwich wars of the 2020s, I would have told you you were loco. But I have to admit, I love this and always will until the end of the promotion. From the pillowy outer shell to the tortilla-crusted chicken and the smoky chipotle sauce, this FrankenMiguel of a food item is the perfect blend of thinking both in and outside the bun. Taco Bell, live Moss. Paul?
In other news, the first bomb dropped on Germany in World War II killed the only elephant in the Berlin Zoo. Back to you, Corbs.
What?
Facts. History.
Where do you come up with this shit?
I got a website. I'll show you.
Is that a Shiba Inu?
He's talking to you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, this is the sandwich I was just talking about.
One and the same.
Oh God.
So, Corbs, you got a movie to review?
No, I don't. I stopped watching movies all along.
Lies.
True. It's true. It's true.
It's damn true.
I was waiting for that.
All right. I'm going to review a movie from I think like 1983 or something like that. Mr. Mom. Michael Keaton, old school movie before Batman.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The family man, Jack Butler, is happily married and lives with his beloved wife, Caroline Butler, and their children, Alex, Kenny, and Megan, in a suburb of Detroit. Jack is an engineer that works in an automobile factory with his friends, Stan and Larry. And they go to work in a carpool with their boss, Jinx. When Jack loses his job, Caroline looks for a job and finds it in the advertising agency that belongs to Ron Richardson. Soon, Caroline succeeds in holding an important account in the agency and climbs position and responsibility. Meanwhile, Jack learns how hard the household chores and children care are. Now, lustful bosses, sexy neighbors, unrelenting housework, and endless hours of boardroom threaten Jack and Caroline's happiness. So that was Mr. Mom in a nutshell.
Great movie.
Yeah.
God, I remember this.
Big fan of the chainsaw scene.
Yes. So, I mean, it's a good movie. I watch it when it's on. Not all of it, though.
I don't know if anyone else could see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
What is the Vin Diesel movie where he is a
Pacifier.
The Pacifier. He was a Navy SEAL.
I think that movie was loosely based on this.
Agreed. Yep. So, I mean, this movie holds a little bit of a special place in my heart. Obviously, you guys know I'm a single parent, so having to play both roles, mom and dad, does become hard at times. I mean, I have help. My mom, my sister, my family does help out, but having to raise a child by yourself does put a little more strain on your mind, I guess is the word. So that's why I like this movie. It, speaks to me, having to be both dad and a mom at times for my son. So
it's movies like this that made it really hard to believe Michael Keaton is Batman.
Yes.
Yep.
That was one of the ones they pointed at. Yeah.
Gun Ho is another one, which I love that movie. I think that movie's hysterical.
Another one you can't make today.
No.
Yeah, but regardless, I mean, I think he did a pretty good job, because that was the whole, bigger than life comic book version, of the Batman movie, and I thought they pulled it off.
Love that Batman movie.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he was good as the original Batman. Well, not Adam West Batman.
No, right? No, we know what you mean.
Movie Batman. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. The back to the big screen Batman.
So
Back to the that was
It was originally on the big screen in the 40s. It was a serial that ran before. Yes.
Was it like
then,
shorts that ran before movies?
Mhm.
That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
and then Adam West actually
There was a
debuted
movie.
in a movie, and then they made the TV series.
Yeah.
Got it.
I have that movie.
I
okay.
had it.
Right.
66.
That's the one with shark repellent. That's a
Yes.
really fucking awful movie.
Horrible.
How does that not surprise me that you have that movie, Paul?
Right? It shouldn't. I have that movie, but I've never seen a James Bond movie.
You got some serious issues.
It upsets me that I've known you this long, and this is the first that I found that you have that movie.
You want to borrow it? Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You have it on DVD?
Of course I do.
I was hoping maybe
He doesn't have
it.
it chiseled onto a cave wall or something.
I was hoping maybe he had it on like VHS or those old freaking movie reels that you watched in school.
Reel to reel. No, the only thing I have on ancient media is The Crow and Clerks, both on VHS.
I like the
There's that box of Betamax videos. We probably don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's a whole different story.
Oh, sorry.
Whole different story. All right, let's bring this back around to Mr. Mom, though. So, Corbs, your good buddy Roger Ebert, he gives it 2 stars. Oh, you know what? We didn't even ask you what you gave it for stars. Damn it.
3.
Okay, you just got to be better than him, right?
I am better than him.
You're still alive, yes.
Exactly.
All right, so Ebert says, people have been living through the basic idea for Mr. Mom for years. It's too bad this movie doesn't feel more like their lives and less like the plot for a TV sitcom. The movie's about a well-paid Ford executive who gets laid off and can't find work. Then his wife finds a job at an advertising agency, and her years of experience in the front lines of consumerism make her a big hit with the clients. Meanwhile, her husband stays home to keep house and raise the children. There are so many genuine comedy ideas, and not a few provocative ones, rising out of this situation that it's hard to see how the filmmakers could go wrong. But go wrong they do. With gimmicky sight gags and awkward fantasy sequences, stock characters and unbelievable situations. What a lost opportunity. Wow, he really liked this movie. That's especially true because the cast is so promising. Michael Keaton, a kinetic young actor who gives the uncanny impression of being able to think faster than he can talk, plays the husband. Terry Garr, Dustin Hoffman's other girlfriend in Tootsie, is the wife, and Martin Mull is the snaky president of the advertising agency with plans for promoting Garr into his own life. Now, if they'd taken these characters and their situations and followed through on the implications, he's boring me, on a believable level, they might have come up with a true human comedy. Instead, everything is pushed too far. Situations are overwritten and overdirected. And the movie is desperate enough to throw in vacuum cleaners with minds of their own, seductive next-door neighbors, and a team of local repairmen who show up and on cue, it's supposed to be on, not an, on cue and look straight out of TV commercials. God knows there's enough in ordinary housework to make a comedy out of, especially if the hotshot husband is trying to learn how to run the house. Do we really need the scene in which he cheerfully puts 4 cups of detergent into the washer? Enough real things can go wrong around the house without the movie needing a monosyllabic.
Monosyllabic.
Female TV repairman and an exterminator who's afraid of bugs. Meanwhile, at the ad agency, Terry Garr also is having her problems with a script that strives for the predictable. She's brought into a conference on a tuna account. The agency's failed campaign presentations line the walls. She shoots them down and comes up with a bright idea. Offer a 50-cent discount for the duration of the recession. Brilliant, eh? Except, wait a minute, the other campaigns on the bulletin board don't even look like professional presentations. They look like scrawls out of Mad Magazine, and her bright idea is obviously the only in the movie because if she has a bright idea, you see, she'll get the job and attract the boss. No attempt is made to be perceptive or original about the idea of a housewife returning to the job wars as an ad executive. Mr. Mom gets itself away with its title. The title was so obviously a concept, a brief encapsulation of what the movie would be about, that all the script needed to deliver was manufactured artificial situations inspired not by the experiences of joblessness or role reversal, but by memories of old TV shows. They had a great idea here. It's too bad they didn't follow it through on a human level. Instead of making it feel made up and artificial and twice removed from the everyday experience it pretends to be about. Fuck this movie. Fuck it in its ass.
Oh, he
Yeah.
really went overboard at the end there.
He really went for it.
Paul, were you possibly paraphrasing right there at the end?
No. You'll see it in the link. I wish there was a way I could write in crayon on the end of it.
Something tells me that he got paid by the word.
He's a verbose motherfucker, is what he is.
He got paid by the letter. That's why you got all those big ass words in there.
So yeah, he definitely didn't think much of the movie. I remember it more fondly than that myself, but it was a good time. So
Oh, if he didn't like it, it must have been a good movie.
generally, yes. But all right, I think that wraps it up. Let's throw this to commercial and we'll come back and we'll talk about what we've been watching. All right. See you guys.
Good.
Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. Welcome back. And guys, let's first talk about the weeklies. Let's first we're going to start off with one that Hugh was teasing last week. The Walking Dead. Holy shit.
Wasn't that a great episode?
It was, and like you said,
Oh,
the great parts were all the Connie scenes. That was phenomenal.
yep.
Oh my god.
They did
And
a
Nicotero
fantastic
directed
job.
it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I put that I mean, if not at the very top, it's one of the top few episodes that they've done. Because they took they didn't just write an episode of The Walking Dead. They took a concept and they ran with it, which they don't always do. And it was fantastic.
That was so fucking cool.
In a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. And I did
in a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. And I did predict. I was right. Kristen watched the whole show like this. So
I mean, I'm just happy we got Lauren Ridloff back. I'm so happy.
Yep.
That was awesome. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to touch on about that was how mind blowing that fucking episode was.
Yep.
That was so cool.
So we got some new. We definitely got some new creepies. And even pictures of them. I don't know if you. I mean, I'm always bringing up Instagram because I follow so many different people on Instagram. But I follow Lauren Ridloff also, and she had a picture of her with one of the creeps.
Nice.
And even that picture, the minimal makeup they have. I mean, it's probably a lot of makeup actually, but she was standing back to back with one of them, and that was creepy. I mean, just awesome work.
Now, I don't think we're going to see them again. I honestly kind of hope we don't.
Yeah.
If there were more, boy, that would be odd. It seems to me that was the troop, and they're done.
Yeah. Now, there were some females in that group too, weren't there?
Yeah, they were very creatively did not show nudity.
Yes.
Especially with that one, with the one that was up on the armoire or something, and she jumped off, and I was like, because that's not something they usually show on The Walking Dead, but yeah, they managed to. Yeah, I think it's the way they film it, probably on real film, how it's high def, but it's also kind of not. They did a really good job letting you see that these, completely naked people, but not showing anything, which is probably hard to do with action shots like that, and make it still impactful and make it look like you weren't trying to not show it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in this episode that has made it into some pretty well-known horror movies, and I thought I thought it was fantastic. The eye behind the mirror.
Yes, that started it all off. Yeah.
Oh, and it was brilliant, and Angela talked about it after the episode. But when our characters were separated and we went into Connie's view, how all the sound was gone, I was like, she shuts the door, everything stops. I literally went, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant. My wife, because I knew what they were doing immediately, and I'm like, that is so awesome.
Made it scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Yes.
It did.
And it made you wonder too, how has Connie made it this long?
Oh,
I mean, she's obviously, when she was with her sister and the other folks, she had people around her. But how the hell did she make it through coming out of the cave, walking with the walkers? I mean, how is she made it this far being deaf? And she and her sister both, they're both deaf in real life.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's a phenomenal actress, but she's also she's deaf. So it's amazing, absolutely amazing.
And her star is going to rise more now. I mean, she's about to do a Marvel movie. Yeah.
She's been in a couple of movies since The Walking Dead started. What is she doing in Marvel? I don't know.
She's going to be one of the main characters in the Eternals.
Oh, the Eternals. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which I believe they made it so her character is also deaf in that as well. Yeah.
I worry that's going to be the Inhumans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I hope not. I hope it does well. I don't have high hopes for it because I just don't care about the Eternals. But I hope they find an interesting way to do it, to present it. I mean, people were predicting that Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be the first flop. And mean, look how that turned out. That's
Those people are now dead because they died of shame.
they should have.
Well,
That was-
inevitably one of them was going to be, even if it makes $500 million, they're going to consider it a flop. So one of them is going to end up being that. So even if it's a good movie and makes money, if it doesn't make what it's supposed to make,
Right.
even if it makes back what it, if it costs $500 million to make it and they make 750, they're still considered a flop because it's not making $1 billion like all the other ones.
I don't know. It seems to me like Marvel actually has realistic expectations for the smaller movies. They know those. I mean, you're not going to get endgame numbers on every single movie.
Right.
And I mean, my impression is that they seem to understand when they go after these smaller characters, they also have smaller budgets.
Right.
So it's not going to cost as much to get it out there. At least that's what it seems like to me.
And I think that's why everyone was so taken by surprise with Shang-Chi, that it's been doing so good. First in the COVID era, and second, that I don't think there was really high expectations for it. So,
I mean, I can literally say I've never read a comic book with that character in it ever.
No,
I can recall.
I think he may have shown up in some of like the new Avengers back in the early 2000s, and that's my only exposure to him. But yeah, I've never read any of the other stuff, but movie was phenomenal.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out now that I never saw. I never saw Guardians of the Galaxy, Luke Cage, any of the other peripheral characters around Daredevil that was on Netflix. I never saw any of those ever in a comic book anywhere. I only saw Daredevil because he was in other stuff. He did a lot of crossover stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that's been out, these days that I never. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I never read Iron Man.
I never stuck with Iron Man for long. It's just
Never.
another one. It's like a Superman.
I've never read Iron Man either.
I never bought a single comic book. I mean,
Me either.
Batman, Spider-Man. Oh yeah. I mean, every one I could find. But not, never bought a Wonder Woman comic book, but she was in other stuff,
Right.
So some of the big things that have happened in, Marvel and obviously DC are things that,
Passed
never
by
really
you.
never had any impact on me when I was a kid.
Right.
But I'm glad to see him doing well. I think the audience out there is ready for some of this stuff, and I have a little bit of pride that I was part of that when I was a kid, in some small way. This means a lot to me, so it's pretty cool.
You mean being the person that got beat up for their lunch money and now even the bullies wear Captain America t-shirts?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, we won.
exactly. Yep, being made fun of because I like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Yep. You know how many years it was that I never said a word to anybody about a comic book or a
Mhm.
toy or a movie? I went through years and years and years. People, working with people that had being around people who had no idea, what my internal world looked like.
Right.
And now it's out, and I can be happy about that.
Now you're doing a nerd themed podcast. Yeah.
Yep. And I have more money than I care to even think about sunk into Funko Pops.
I might still make fun of you about that, but
What the
Actually,
fuck
I
is
won't.
wrong with me? You please do, because
I really
need-
don't
Oh.
get the Funko Pop thing. I mean, I like the one I have that Paul gave me because it's John Constantine, but I can't imagine a situation where I would ever. Here's the thing. I would never go buy an action figure that isn't
Oh.
actually an action figure I can play with.
Oh.
That's what I want, I don't get it.
Be able to pose them, put them into cool
Yeah.
poses, make them awesome.
Paul and I have these discussions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much me, busting on him for opening the package, which I'm really not comfortable with. I really don't like that.
Paul has no problem opening packages. Trust me.
Oh, I know. He loves what's inside.
I can't use that.
He loves what he's inside. You can't use it.
I'm not going to use that. That's
Oh.
that way. let's stay on a similar topic and let's talk about Titans. I know, Corbs, you're not caught up with
No.
this season at all. Right?
No, I haven't got the Blu-rays from you yet, dummies.
Wait a minute, I dropped them off at my Stewart's. You didn't get them at yours?
I did not.
Oh man, I feel bad because I don't want to go into spoiler territory here, but that's rough. I gotta say, Kev, because you're like Titans is like awesome, and I'm with
I'm
you there.
close. I'm really close. I might be only 1 or 2 episodes off. We watched an episode last night. The one we watched last night was was it episode 6?
All right, so you're 3 behind.
Oh shit, 3 behind.
Yeah, with another one coming tomorrow.
All I gotta say then is, man, I've loved the show up until this episode, and this episode really pissed me off because it was stupid as fuck. It was, I can't talk about it. So
Go ahead. It doesn't bother me. I'm gonna watch it no matter what.
all right, Paul, you watched it, right?
I did, and I actually liked the episode.
Okay. Okay. Here's the thing.
No,
All right, that really gets me. The idea of this episode is we know Donna Troy died last year, right? Well, she's in Wonder Woman land with the Amazons, and what's her
Raven's
face?
there.
Raven's
Yes.
there, and she's trying to use her magic to bring her back to life. Anyway, the episode ends up going into the afterlife. Everything's in black and white. She runs into Hawk there. They have this whole big thing. They try to help this kid get out of the soul realm. or
Purgatory,
whatever.
yeah.
Purgatory, yeah. And I'm just like, this is fucking stupid because first of all, this show's been mostly based in reality. Okay, you've now established that everybody who dies rides a fucking train in the afterlife to get to their destination. That's dumb because you're going to kill somebody down the road and they're going to be like, oh, let's go to the afterlife and help them find the magical bridge. It was fucking stupid. If they wanted to bring Donna Troy back, they certainly could have without going into all this shit. All right, it doesn't. Hawk had a great ending, even though it was sad. The ending he got there doesn't really improve things. And the fact that he's so excited to try to like get back to the real world when he is the one of the 3 of them that doesn't have a fucking body to inhabit should have come up. Okay.
Yeah, that I agree with you on.
Donna and the other kid, at least they still had bodies in the real world. And then she gets back and she saves Bruce Wayne from burning down his castle in Ireland. Now, I've loved the characterization of him so far. I can kind of go with the fact he snapped and he killed Joker. I don't think Batman would ever do that, but we're in a different world. I can buy it. All right, I'm okay with it. But trying to kill himself, commit suicide by burning down his castle, boo fucking who, Bruce Wayne? Jesus, you've dealt with so much other shit. This is what fucking breaks you. I'm just like, they picked such a great actor to play him, and I don't even know what do you do there? And the fact she comes back to life in Amazon world and knows to go save Bruce Wayne. How?
Yeah, you're right on that one too.
Did she just? If he was at Wayne Manor at the very least, she could have flown back to help them. No, she fucking finds his castle in Ireland. I mean, did she look at her phone and have messages or something? I don't know. It was just fucking stupid. Holy shit.
What I liked most about it was for the reason that I liked it was we get to have a final goodbye to Hawk. And that's huge to me because I was a huge Hawk and Dove fan. So that meant a lot to me, especially with the very end of it.
Yeah. This episode would have been perfectly fine on a different show, but this whole afterlife coming back to life shit, at least the way they did it here, doesn't fit into the world Titans has established so far.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I've told you guys before that I don't like the alternate universes because I don't like characters coming back. If they killed them off, they're dead. They're gone. You wrote the story. It's done. Move on. I like some kind of basis in reality, even if our superheroes really, that's the part of the not reality that I'm okay with. But bringing him back, Superman died. He's dead. Move on. So maybe his DNA, they had a sample of it and and they created a super being called, Superboy or whatever, and it's, half Lex Luthor and half Superman. All right, well, there's your next Superman. I'm okay with that. Bring him back? No, I don't. I've never liked that. I just don't. I don't agree with that.
That's what they do with the comics. I mean, when they doesn't work when it doesn't work, they say, "Oh, that was just some other. That was some other."
I just don't
multiverse.
like that.
This wasn't a
never liked
multiverse
that.
thing.
I've
This
never
was the,
liked that. I know it's not.
Yeah, okay.
I understand. I understand what you said, and I completely get it. I'm okay with it. But in my mind, it's kind of the same thing. It's a different way to bring the character back. I'm not okay with it.
Well, I will say that I think that there are times where it's okay to bring a character back. A perfect example of that was, I don't know if anybody here watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but when they brought her back, it was in service to the story, not just in service to having the main character back. And her coming back affected her and the storyline. Has anyone watched Buffy? Okay.
No.
You probably all know they did a musical episode, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this all culminated in the musical episode. Basically, she died saving everybody. Her friends think she's in hell, and they're agonizing, and they spend the first couple episodes of the next season trying to bring her back, and they do. They bring her back to life. She's confused, she's shocked, and now she's just trying to be okay for everybody. And you go through the season, and you get to this musical episode where this demon comes out, and he basically forces everybody to sing, but it's all about their deepest feelings, the things they've been hiding. And her song was, "You didn't pull me out of hell, you pulled me out of heaven. I was happy. It was finally over. You pulled me out of heaven back into this shit, and I don't want to be here." And that was perfect because it was in service to an amazing story. So I give it a pass there. But then there's things like this. Does Donna Troy have to be there for Titans? Because she hasn't been there for the past 8 episodes.
Right.
Doing all right so far.
No, I mean, they killed her off. It is what it is.
Which was weird that they killed her off, and they immediately, like, as soon as the season ended, they basically told you that she was coming back. Like, that was all over, like, the genre news.
I also thought the way she died was weird. It was electricity, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
she had
she's a fucking
electrocuted at a
Amazon.
carnival.
Yeah, she's an Amazon.
Made no sense.
I was like, that killed her?
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Wonder Woman would have been like, whatever.
Right?
Who's the one that got shot? It wasn't Donna. It was a guy, right?
Garth?
No, the one that got shot at the airport.
At the airport. That was Garth. That was Aqualad.
Aqualad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Garth. No, I'm thinking of Gar.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on from that one to a show that I promised I was going to catch up on, and I have not yet. Heels.
Well, it wasn't an episode this week, so.
No episode this week. Yeah.
Moving on.
I'm guessing they didn't want to compete with the WWE pay-per-view, which kind of makes sense.
That does make sense. And I think he was a little busy being at AEW events. So.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you do know that they're not actually filming the show live. They film it in the past.
Well, I just wanted to reference that he was there and he was hugging his buddy Phil.
How do they do that? How do they film it in the past?
Well, they filmed it months ago, and now we watch it on TV. So when you sit down and watch Heel, Stephen Amell is not actually in a wrestling ring on a soundstage performing those moves live for you in the 10 o'clock hour on Stars.
Oh, I thought you meant they went back in time.
That'd be good.
Yeah, the show does kind of go back in time sometimes. But
that I'm okay with.
great. Now I'm going to have Huey Lewis in the news back in time stuck in my head all night. Fuck me.
Just don't sing it because we don't need another ding by YouTube.
You're welcome.
Last night it was Heart and Soul. I don't know what the hell is going on with all this Huey Lewis music stuck in my head.
Go back in time.
Perfect.
Do we have anything else on the weeklies?
What if we did have something else? We have
ended abruptly.
It did.
Yeah.
And you know why, right? Because we're getting the team up next week from all of the characters that we've been seeing. So
yeah, I knew going into it that it was a 2-parter into the finale. but it just the place it stopped. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is over already? Or it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Said the same thing. My son and I both said the same thing. That was the reason why I texted you guys earlier because we were out and he said to me as we're playing games, he's like, "We have to watch What If." I'm like, "Ah, son of a bitch."
You know, I also thought The Watcher, for a guy that's seen every fucking thing that's ever happened, he sure takes a long time to get with the program.
Yeah. Kind of a bitch too. He was. Yeah. So, but again, I enjoyed the episode, but it was a lot of setup is what we got.
Yeah.
So
When I saw Ross Marquand in the credits, I was like, oh, James Spader didn't come back for this. He's definitely doing Ultron, and he did a fantastic job.
he did. I didn't catch his name in the credits. So, but now that makes way more sense. Nice. That's it. That's what I got. What is anybody else watching anything else? Is there anything else we want to cover?
TV shows are starting to come back on this week.
Are they?
Yeah, a couple of shows I watched: SWAT and Magnum PI. Kev.
They've
The new
already
Magnum
come
doesn't.
back.
The new Magnum doesn't look anything like the old Magnum.
No, it is not. I don't mind the new Magnum either. I mean, I watched the old Magnum. I don't mind Jay Hernandez as Magnum PI in it. I think he's pretty good as Thomas Magnum in it.
I need to watch some of the new ones.
So
I haven't seen the new
enjoy
show.
it. I enjoy it. It's a good show. So still waiting on Yellowstone though. I gotta wait another month.
What's
Really looking forward to Yellowstone coming back.
November 7th. 2-hour season opener.
Jeez.
Wasn't that supposed to be back in June?
Supposed to be back in June. Everybody was waiting. It usually comes out Father's Day weekend. That's Sunday. Usually comes out, and everybody was glued to their TVs, and then it wasn't on, and everybody was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Wah, wah.
They're like, "Ha ha, fool you!"
Well, I started watching something new this week. Last week, Netflix released Midnight Mass by Mike Flanagan. He's the same guy who did the Haunting at Hill House and Bly Manor. And Netflix signed him up for like a big multi-program deal. It's a 7-episode series. 2 episodes in, really happy I started watching it. Really good so far. Very interesting, especially the way they tackle certain elements. I don't want to spoil anything. There were just there are certain tropes you see in shows a lot. And this particular show deals with somebody who had a substance abuse problem, and so they bring up AA, and they actually, instead of it being a background thing, they actually talk about it in a meaningful way, which is not something you see in a lot of shows. Now, mind you, this is a horror TV show, so this isn't even a big part of it, but in building the world and the characters, they actually took the time to do something that at least to me felt very real. The entire backdrop is gorgeous. I can't, unlike Brand New Cherry Flavor, which I liked but was really fucking weird, this is a little more straightforward. It's also a story Mike Flanagan has been trying to make since he started as a filmmaker. And at one point he said he was kind of too young to put it together in a package that a studio would take. But now that he has this deal with Netflix, he was finally able to do his pet project. And so far it seems fantastic.
Nice. I've seen ads for that. I might have to try that one out before my subscription runs out. I'm hoping that they'll redo the other half of Masters of the Universe Revelation before it runs out, but I got a feeling that's coming in the winter.
How'd the Stars one work out for you?
What?
How'd the Stars one work out for you? Did you get that?
Haven't yet. That's why I haven't started Heels yet.
It's terrible.
It
So
is.
you say you get back into wrestling, but you don't watch a wrestling show. I don't get you.
That's a problem. I'm too busy watching the other wrestling shows.
He does have a point. Holy shit, the amount of wrestling I consumed last week. 4 hours of WWE plus a pay-per-view and 4 hours of AEW. I mean, that's 4, 8. That's half a day of wrestling I watched last week. It was fucking ridiculous.
Wait, so you're not watching NXT or AEW Dark?
Sometimes I watch Dark if I don't have anything else.
I haven't
like-
watched it yet.
I mean, I do watch it sometimes. It's not one of those muff things. Like this week, I could be watching it, but I'm trying to get caught up with the first 3 premiere episodes of Doom Patrol. So Dark is kind of on the back burner.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just a ridiculous amount of wrestling on TV right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that sucks about that is half of it kind of sucks.
Would that be SmackDown?
No, that means WWE as a whole
Ah,
not being as strong as AEW.
I would agree. Yeah, I'm definitely liking AEW more, but I am still enjoying WWE, and I think it's just because it's new to me again.
All right,
So-
let's talk about it. I mean, let's just talk about it. Extreme Rules. They had Finn Balor back in his demon makeup versus Roman Reigns for the championship. Now, I don't know if you saw the what they showed on Raw, of what happened, but basically
The ending,
Finn Balor gets speared through the wall. He's laying on the ground. All of a sudden, the lights go red. You hear a heartbeat, boom, boom, and his arms and legs twitch. And that happens a few more times, like he's coming back to life. And his music starts playing, and he gets up and starts beating the crap out of Roman Reigns. And I'm like, what in the holy fucking corny bullshit is this? And then he gets Reigns in the ring, gets up on the top rope. It looks like he's going to win the match, and the fucking ropes all break, and he falls down.
yeah, that's what I heard.
And I'm just like, what is this dumb shit? I mean, seriously. And then at the end, Roman Reigns is pointing up as if God protected him from the demon. That's the story we got. God protected Roman Reigns from Finn Balor. What a load of horse shit.
Isn't there some character who they're calling like God's warrior?
God's favorite champion is Miro in AEW.
That's what it was. Yes, I knew it was. Yeah.
This is on a pay-per-view. This isn't the WWE where Mae Young gave birth to a hand, okay? And where you have clowns wrestling. This is 2021. What the fuck was that? It didn't do anything. Now Finn Balor's character is damaged.
Yep.
Because the demon's never been beaten. Finn Balor's been beaten, but in the demon persona, he's never been beaten. He got beaten, and Extreme Rules as a whole. Okay, Extreme Rules is supposed to be like all no DQ, no count out, all that shit. There were 2 matches on the card that had some extreme stipulations. The rest were normal. I got confused because in one match, the wrestler put his leg up on the ropes and the ref stopped the count. Later on, somebody tries to get to the ropes to break a submission hold, and they're like, "Oh no, this is Extreme Rules. It doesn't matter." It was just all around. It was a clusterfuck.
Sounds like it. I'm kind of glad I didn't watch that one. Apparently.
Well, no, I mean it's still good to watch, and it doesn't mean that there weren't good matches there, but I think it shows just how not seriously Vince is taking their competition right now, because that was straight out of the WCW playbook.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Like,
AEW was
like when RoboCop got Sting out of the cage. Yeah.
So WWE is now WCW, and AEW is like the classic era, the Attitude Era of WWE, and Vince is standing there, with everything burning down and ratings going down, going, "This is fine." Like the dog.
It's all fine. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that about wraps it up. I think that really puts a pin in it. I'm not sure Kevin's even awake up there. Oh, there he is. Hi. All right. So why don't we drop some wisdom nuggets and get out of here for the night?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I didn't know if he was waiting on a response. I mean,
Generally,
take your time.
yes.
Paul,
Take
did the
your time,
looks on our
Paul.
faces not say that we really want to get the fuck out of here?
Take your time, Paul.
All right. We teach society to never get into a car with strangers unless, you request that stranger through the Uber mobile app. Good night, everybody, and mega mighty bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.